Beloved hearts of love's eternal presence, it is Papa Asun who this day have an opportunity to discourse with you, to be with you in these precious moments. Each of you, I trust, have made that choice to spiritually grow, to become enlightened, to seek enlightenment, to seek greater illumination in your life. And in doing so, let us take this moment and recognize that the pursuit of taking on a spiritual path, of being interested in things of a spiritual nature, seeking greater enlightenment and understanding, that in all of this pursuit and the path that ensues, it is not long before we realize that our path is offering us an opportunity to change. If you expect that in a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, in your pursuit of enlightenment, that you're going to be the same person that you are now, well, I would say that that is not a correct assessment. As we awaken, we discover many things. And we discover that we are beings of consciousness. And in awakening, there's the opportunity to reconstruct what is in our consciousness, with the understanding that we are all creator beings. And all that we perceive within our consciousness is creating the conditions in our lives. I congratulate every one of you who have become interested in spirituality, in all ways that you can determine the truth of your existence and why you are here, and all the opportunities that can be before you when you are consciously choosing to spiritually awaken to the glory and the grace of all that you are. Today, I would like to place a little of our attention on frequency and vibration with the following understandings. Our thoughts have a vibration to them. Our feelings, our intentions, our attitudes, and even our actions. And the bottom line, precious hearts, is that once you have begun to awaken, the truth is, you have always had a spiritual presence within you. We are all divine beings, and we carry that divinity within our consciousness. For a long time, that divine nature has been likened to a sleeping splendor, a presence that has not been acknowledged. The truth is, if you are alive, that you have life force streaming through your consciousness, life force that anchors within your physical heart. And that life force carries your consciousness within it. And as a creator being, each one is given the opportunity to choose what abides within their own consciousness. And in awakening and recognizing that there is this inner splendor within, by whatever name that you call it. It has nothing to do with some of the old concepts and perceptions of being a sinner and there being this judgmental God that decides your future. None of that is true. You carry life within you. And the highest vibrations of that life, the highest, is light, divine intelligence, and love, divine feelings, and divine qualities. Rarely in the outer world do you find an individual who is expressing such light, such divine intelligence, and such love, magnificent, strong feelings and qualities. But when you meet such people, they stand out to you. You can feel that they radiate a presence about them. As you turn within and recognize that there is an inner splendor, there is a presence within you, and whether you call it the magic presence or the Mother, Father, universal consciousness, out of which your individual consciousness has sprung forth, it is your recognizing of this, that you carry this presence within you, and you begin to commune with that presence. You turn within. And within your state of enlightenment is a recognition that is desirable, that you realize that the spiritual presence that is within you is not human. It is divine. It is a presence that is made up of the source of your existence. And therefore, when you turn within, you are turning your attention to a greater source, where the vibrations and the frequency of those vibrations are so high. And when you turn within and commune with them, be one with them, meditate upon them, and offer yourself to be an instrument where those sublime and spiritual vibrations can come forth and express through your life as a measurable frequency. As you realize this, and also realize, as you turn your attention outwards, in other words, as you turn your attention out into the world, well, the world consciousness, due to human beliefs, is made up of the knowledge of good and evil. So out in the world, you have good things and you have bad things. You have people that are acting in good ways and people who are acting in bad ways. But the bottom line is this, my beloved precious hearts. Turn within. The vibrations of light and love and their frequencies are magnificent. Turn your attention outwards, and the frequency and vibrations of people's thought forms and what has filled the atmosphere is nowhere near the frequency, the vibrations of light and love that you will find within yourself. This presence within you, it is the source of your existence that has given you many lifetimes, and in your lifetimes on earth, because of what you were told to believe, this indwelling presence has been silenced by human belief, human will. And then there is a great inner dissatisfaction until a spiritual impulse comes along. And that spiritual impulse tries to indicate to you that there's something more to life. That life was not intended to be lived sometimes good, sometimes bad. You're given 60, 70, 80 years to live, and that's it. It's over. That's the lie. That is a lie. And all of you spiritually awakened, whether you are conscious of it or not, there has been those spiritual impulses. And the stronger those impulses become, there is a recognition that there is much more to life. Some of you came this way in recent previous embodiments, and you have been on a path seeking greater enlightenment for some time. Yet you lost your previous embodiments, and you're back here again, taking on the pursuit. And if we are to pursue a spiritual path, a path that lifts us and raises us, helps us to reconstruct our consciousness so that we can live lives of great joy and happiness, no matter what is going on in the world, comes a recognition too that if we are going to scale mountains of enlightenment, illumination, if we're going to scale mountains to new heights of consciousness, then we must have a stable foundation, a foundation of basic principles that give understanding to the law of attention, the law of attraction, the law of projection, the law of qualification. And all of these important matters, they come in the beginning years of anyone's spiritual awakening, and they form your rock. They form your foundation so that your foundation can be strong, so that as you seek greater enlightenment, you can rely, you can depend on that strong spiritual foundation. Truth does not come to you with a set of do's and don'ts. Rather, truth waits to be discovered in a way that each of you can individually develop your own inner truth. And your own inner truth about anything ought not to be what is going on in the world. Your own inner truth, beloved precious hearts, ought to be the way you desire your life to be. With life, we are given a mind to think, to plan, to make new choices. With life, we are given a heart, a feeling side of life. And the journey in the outer human worlds that has been so difficult that the average person, their state of mind, their state of feelings, are in constant conflict with each other. Yet as you awaken, you recognize that you are a creator being, endowed with the ability to think, to feel, to be a light, to be a source of love. And with this awakening, there is a recognition of spiritual powers. And long before we ought to expect to feel the presence of amazing spiritual powers, we ought to recognize that no matter how enlightened or unenlightened we might be, are the simple day-to-day powers that come with our life. The power to choose, the power to articulate, the power to create, the power to choose to be better tomorrow than I was today. These are your basic, primal, spiritual powers, and the recognition that you are a spiritual being. And with that recognition, a growing desire to cooperate with the laws of attention. Where I place my attention, there I am. What I place my attention upon, that I become. Very simple laws. And the laws of life that offer you the polarity of life. That polarity being able to project out from you. And that ability under the law of attraction through your feeling side of life. That ability to draw to you, to attract to you. In these days that offer greater enlightenment and this incoming seventh golden age, let us place much greater respect and reverence on our ability to think, recognizing that our thoughts today, our feelings today, our actions, our perceptions, our attitudes today are forming the substance of our tomorrows. Think not that the tomorrows are unknown. That is not correct. It is what is going on in yourself. It is what is going on in your mind today, and your heart, your feelings, your attitudes. All that is taking place within you today that is forming the situations and conditions and experiences that unfold in your tomorrow. Let tomorrow not be a mystery or thought of being some unknown. Recognize the wonder of life, that even living as presently as you can, all your thinking, all your feelings, all your perceptions, all your attitudes, all your words, they are all forming the substance of your tomorrows. Enlightenment, by its very nature, brings about the discovery of new things, and the discovery of those things, if well accepted, once they get into your consciousness, begins to change your experience side of life. Mother Akasha and the Christ have chosen to take on a great responsibility. in bringing forth the enlightenment of the mind and bringing forth what has been absent in human consciousness, the right understanding of the soul. And in the Radiant Rose Academy, this is our focus now. That focus is to achieve Christ consciousness, which is the highest universal consciousness of divine light, divine intelligence, omniscience. Yet for us to scale this magnificent mountain to universal consciousness, we must have the polarity. And the polarity of that is love. It is our heart, and that which is greater than our heart, that which has been unknown to mankind, because the door has been closed. And that's the most sacred activity of the divine feminine, the sacred activity of love and heart, the hierarchy. If one is to seek the path of higher states of consciousness, within that consciousness is light and love. And light and love and its polarity seeks to undo the duality of good and bad. This requires a path. This requires effort, study, meditation. And in the process of all of this, there is a reconstruction of your own consciousness. So why not today say to yourself, on my spiritual path and my state of becoming greater, I am actually reconstructing what is within my consciousness, with the understanding that all that I am working within my consciousness, that comes out in my words, my attitudes, my thoughts, is what is creating the conditions in my world. Let me go back to frequency and vibration to make it so clear. So clear. Because what is going on in the world today, it's just so easy to get pulled into those things. Today, the thing is, precious hearts, there's always been good in the world and there's always been bad in the world. There is nothing new here. It's just that modern technology allows you all to be more greatly aware of the good things and the bad things that are happening in the world. Plus, you have all heard many times we are in the opening years of what is to be a permanent golden age upon this planet. And in opening years of a golden age, there is always the coming in of the sacred fire and great rays of light that come in from the angels and the Ascended Master's octave in the fifth dimension. As those rays of light pour into everything in the outer world, well, I say to you, precious hearts, if there is discord in the world, if there is bad stuff happening in the world, there is the source of that bad stuff. And what's happening now is that often, with that source of discourse hidden from people, now that source of all discord is being revealed because the light is coming in. Nothing can be hidden. So it seems that things are worse. They're not. We can point your attention back to other ages times where there were such small populations upon this planet because nobody wanted to come down here. The darkness and discord was so outrageous. So, precious heart, you can hear all sorts of things, devious plans, sinister force, fake news, all these things going on in the world. But realize one thing: the light is coming in. Never question, where is the light? Where is the light, precious heart? It's in you. Stop hiding it. Let your light out. But your light is not going to come out as strongly as it could if you're placing your attention upon the outer world, where the vibrations and frequency of those things is much lower than the vibrations and frequencies that you are carrying inside you. Can this not be a simple formula for your own self-guidance, self-discipline? Remembering that spiritual presence within you, by whatever name you refer to it, is a much higher frequency, much higher vibration than the frequencies and vibrations of everything that is going out in the world. So what do you wish, precious hearts? You wish to align with world frequency and vibrations, with all the stuff going on out there? Or do you wish to align with the highest source of light and love vibrations that have for too long remained hidden within people? It's not hidden within any of you now. You are awake. But the thing is, ask yourself, in the ratio, what is the ratio of how much attention I am allowing my attention to be upon what's going on in the world, compared to how much attention am I turning within, communing with that great presence of light and love within me, turning within in thankfulness and gratitude for the gift of life, and asking for guidance and direction and protection and safety and all the good things that the source of your existence is long intended to provide you. What's your ratio? Because it is you. It's your actions. It's your thought. It's where you allow your mind and your feelings to go. While Mother Akasha and the Christ are here to help you to rise up into Christ consciousness, to welcome the new vibrations of the soul coming into your life for greater fulfillment. My role, Papa Asun, is to help you in your daily life so that you can stay the course on your spiritual path, to begin to continue to become more and more enlightened every day. Every day. And if we would just remember this one simple thing: everything is vibrating. Your consciousness is vibrating. And as your consciousness enters your mind, your heart, and your body that make up your outer self is vibrating. Now, what is the frequency of those vibrations? An awakening in your spiritual practice and your prayers, in turning within and your meditations, those spiritual frequencies come out and they lift and raise the vibrations of your mind, heart, and body so that you are vibrating a higher frequency. Now, I could invite you, beloved hearts, for you to create an aspiration within yourself that you choose to live, experience life with the greatest joy, the greatest happiness, the greatest amount of wisdom acting in yourself, and a great desire to honor yourself, to respect yourself, and to honor and respect all others, even if they don't agree with you. The vibrations and the frequencies of the outer world they are nowhere near the vibrations and frequencies of your inner spiritual center. So you've got to turn within often enough that those higher spiritual energies can come out, and with your choices, your spiritual motto in life, so hold you in such a high vibration that when you go out into the world and you have to interact with situations out in the world, that your frequency doesn't drop. You see, if I could come along and measure your frequency and I say, oh my goodness, your frequency of joy, of happiness, of wisdom and honor and grace and respect, all of that, your frequency is a 8.5, 8.8, or a 9 out of 10. That would be wonderful. But the thing is, how do you maintain that? Well, you maintain that through your spiritual practice. And today you have a relationship, if you so choose, through the power of your attention. You have a relationship with angels. You have a relationship with ascended beings. All are offering to come in, and it's up to you if you give them permission. Permission to help you to live in the highest frequency of light, of love, of joy. Have you created a motto for yourself? A motto. M-O-T-T-O. What's your motto in life? Well, here's a nice one. My motto is that I choose a life of ease and grace. I approach life with the consciousness, the feelings of ease and grace. I am the master qualifier of everything that is going on in the world. I am not a victim. I am not a being of effects. I am a being of cause. And what cause am I initiating out into the world? The best responsibility you have, the best performance of your responsibility is being responsible for yourself and not allowing what is going on in the world, not allowing what other people are saying or do affect you. Mother Akasha and others covered this recently. You are not beings of effects. You are beings of cause and cause alone. For this, as you spiritually awaken, you've got to decide for yourself. What cause, what motto, what choice is influencing your vibrations, your frequency every day? What is your attitudes? Do you have a wonderful, joyful attitude that everything works out in your life? Do you have a wonderful, joyful attitude that basically says, no rush, I'm not in a rush. I love a life of ease and grace. I don't do rush. I don't do anxiety. I don't do reacting. I am a being of cause. And I love initiating cause. That becomes a measurable frequency of joy and happiness, discernment and wisdom and respect and honor. What is your qualification for your tomorrows? Have you qualified that tomorrow you will be better, you will be greater, you will be more enlightened than you are today, that you will be kinder, that you will be fairer, that you will be more compassionate to self and to others? These are all choices that your life desires you to make, that becomes your strong spiritual foundation. And with that foundation, You don't end up waffling like everyone else out in the world. You give yourself a strong foundation, and with that foundation, you welcome more enlightenment, more discovery, a greater awareness of universal consciousness and universal truths, and align with them, so that those higher truths can express through you and out into your world with your spiritual growth now, beloved hearts. You have a means of maintaining your energy fields, your emotional energy fields, your mental energy fields, your physical energy fields, in a high vibration of light and love that is much more possible now. And especially so even when your attention is upon the outer world. Do you declare that you come in every morning and that you come into the world in God, with God, and by God? Do you turn to your higher self, your mighty I am God presence, and ask to be enfolded in the great pillar of the sacred fire? Do you seal yourself in the great armor of light? Do you call upon Archangel Michael to enfold you in his wall of cosmic blue flames? Do all these things to keep yourself safe and untouched? But you've got to also realize presence. You can turn to all these spiritual powers and beings. But in the next moment, an hour later, you allow yourself to get negative. You just cancel all those spiritual efforts. So at some point you have to ask yourself, how can I stay positive? But it's more than just being positive, dear. How can I be in my joy, in my happiness, where all the wisdom that I require for my life, for what I wish to accomplish, that it's there, it's expressing through me? Is it your truth now? Because it comes through the classes. Is it your truth that there are no more problems in your life? No, because you made a choice. That you're qualifying what were seeming problems are now opportunities. That all seeming problems that seem to come your way are opportunities for you to turn within to Mother, Father consciousness, to your great God presence within, and ask for a solution, ask for direction, ask for promptings. Is that a baseline now? Is that what you do? Or do you go on about your life reacting to this and that, and then later in the day remembering, maybe I should go within because I don't feel great right now? You have a responsibility to maintain your energy, the energy that's acting in your mind, your feelings, your body, and the highest vibration of light and love. This is part of a spiritual path. And it starts with you. It would be wonderful if each of you could create your own inner gauge, an inner gauge where you turn within and allow yourself to feel at any given moment, how do I feel? My light, my love, my joy. How do I feel right now? Have I slipped down to a 6 because of what I've been addressing in the world? How do I feel on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being absolute joy and happiness. Because life is greater. Life is more fun. Life is more enlightening. When we can live in a vibration, a frequency of joy and happiness, ease and grace, where our minds become such crystal clear channels for divine intelligence that is working its way in our minds, and so much love radiating from our hearts and feelings out of life. That happens by really disciplining ourselves. How can I be aware, if I choose to, about what's going on in the world without connecting with some of those discordant energies. Because all that's wrong in the world is discordant energy, and if you place your attention too much upon it, you can connect with it. And if you connect with it, you make yourselves an open door where it begins to act in your own lives. Be allowing and accepting, precious hearts. Be allowing and accepting of your true divine nature. And if you make a mistake, forgive yourself and dust yourself off, get yourself up and carry on. Respect life, honor life, and realize this may just be one of the best times to be in this world, regardless of what is going on out there. I could say one thing, precious hearts. The world doesn't need more of your human. The world requires more of your divine nature. The world needs your light. Your world needs your love. The world doesn't need your opinions. So what do you offer the world? And long before you consider what you offer to the world, what do you offer to yourself? Are you in the wonderful process of loving yourself free, loving life free? I am Asun, and I love each of you deeply. And I just care for the basics of your life, how you're living your life with enough joy, enough right attitudes, so that your life is an open door to the greatest frequencies of light and love, not only of your own divinity, but that your life is an open door to the greatest frequencies of light and love that come from angels and the ascended masters that are pouring that life to each of you. Declare yourself a closed door to the discord and darkness that may be in the outer world. Declare yourself an absolute open door to all that is the cosmic light and love of the universe. And I will stand by you. I will stand your guard as long as you make the effort. My dear friends, namaste, namaste, namaste.